Hi everyone, I am Tara and I would like to welcome you all back to my channel, Spirit Mother Teachings of Going Within. Today I'm going to talk about the terms or phrases or questions when you have something of, I think, what if, and knowing, okay? We all do it, okay? So it's about positive thinking. Okay, and positive thinking is like basically being sure of oneself. It's a knowing. So when we talk about when we say something and we're sitting there and then we go, I think. Okay, I think is a very powerful word. It kind of questions yourself, the same as like when you make a decision and you say, I know I just got right into it. When you say the phrase, what if? Okay, you're trying to decide something and then you go, whoa, what if? So you're making more overthinking, more problems for oneself, opposed to like we think about it and you just kind of sit until it's a knowing. You're knowing something. The other night I was sitting here and I was kind of contemplating on it, and I was realizing that every time I thought of, well, I think that's what it is, and then you're sitting there and you start overthinking. Like it's like, well, I think I turned off the stove, so you overthink, and then it's just like a constant more thinking. You can think, but it becomes an overthinking. And the same as the phrase, well, what if? Okay. What if I went horseback riding and I fell off the horse? Okay. Are you wondering of the what if, or are you overthinking it and putting it in your head that I'm afraid to do this because what if I fall off the horse? What'll happen then? Well, what if you walk out your door and you trip? Right? It's that what if, and you're creating something that isn't. It may not make sense to some, but some people, I know it's making sense. So when I was sitting here, it was like, we say the words I think and what if, and if you think about it, like, well, if you sit and you like ponder on it, you sitting with it, you can actually take a negative phrase and turn it into a positive phrase because you don't just think it anymore, you know it. So before going forward as something, just know, okay, I'm going to go horseback riding and I'm going to do great. Not, well, if I go horseback riding, what if this happens? Eliminate the what if, because you're putting something in your mind that doesn't need to be there. We can create the what if. And that's why I've learned to, like, if I catch myself saying, well, what if? It's like, well, what if I walked out my door and I tripped and fell and broke my ankle? Well, that's something that can happen to anyone. And we get other people that when you say you want to do something, they say, well, what if this? It's like, well, okay, what if that? But what if this? So you take the negative and you spin it to the positive, and because it could go either way. But if you contemplate on the what if, then if you concentrate on one part of it, the negative aspect, you may fall off. What if I fall off? Well, you may do that because you were thinking that and you're afraid of falling. So when I say why, okay, we say the words I think and what if. That's, to me, it's negative thinking. Everybody thinks differently. Everybody feels differently. Okay. Can go either way. But it's like, when do we really say, I know? Unless we've really thought about it, and I know and I understand. Or I know that. Are we saying it because we think we know everything? I had somebody say, you think you know everything. Well, it's no, I don't think I know everything, but something that I do know, I say, I know. And then sometimes people will say, well, no, you didn't know that. Well, okay, I didn't, but I know. It's the sake of argument. Sometimes we do that. And it's like, wow. So when we're saying that, it's like taking the positive spin and saying, instead of I think or what if, I can, I know it will, etc. The good aspects. Look at the good aspects instead of thinking everything is bad's going to happen. Because a lot of us do that. I used to think the same way. I used to feel the same way, or act the same way, and say, well, what if this happens? Well, what if it does? What's the chances, really, of it happening? So that's the part of the positive thinking. I know, and I can. I can do it. I know I can. The little train that could, he kept saying, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, until he knew he could. I know I can, I know I can, I know I can. Okay? Don't think it, know it. So when you're thinking is a thought of knowing it through. It's the part of not questioning oneself, of the what if. That, to me, that is it we spin it more on the doubting than we do in a positive aspect, so it gets overused, opposed to, well, saying to somebody, well, what if I do this? Somebody's it's the throat chakra. It's you question the what if all the time. Why? Sometimes we overthink it with the what if too. That's the part of I think or what if. It's going within and thinking of something before you bring it forward. Because when we bring it forward, then that's when the possibility it's more out there. I do it still. I'm no exception to the rule. I have somebody ask me if I do this stuff, and I do. And I would have the questioning myself, but the questioning yourself part usually comes from a program to make you second guess yourself and your own decisions, because your gut, your intuition, your heart, your intuitive, everything will tell you, your body will tell you if it's right for you. So when we overthink things, your body can get really anxious, and they just get more, you're just like, oh yeah. Okay. So we can question our answer, but question that before you bring something forward for yourself, because it's the manifestation. What we say is what we can get back. How we behave, what we watch, what we eat, it all comes back to us. It's like I'm not sure. if I would be able to do that. Well, you don't know if you can do something until you try it. And sometimes you can try something once, and if you have the mindset, like trying a new food, if you have the mindset that you already don't like it, then you're going to find something wrong with it a lot of the time. But if you go in with an open mind, then you're more apt to probably like it and give it another chance if you're still unsure. It's like don't do something once just because it didn't work out. It just may have been the mental state that you're in at the time. And I hate the word mental state, because I had somebody today, and because they were talking about something, and I just wanted the topic to stop, and I started getting really irritated. And they told me that I was mental. People throw that word around too easily. Okay? Because the word mental, you're mental, can be very damaging to some, especially to some who's already having a hard time struggling with their own things that they're going through. So it's like, well, I told the person, well, I'm mental, but you're an asshole for telling me I'm a mental. Because we all have our mental states sometimes. And for somebody to throw it at you, well, that's just them throwing shade on you. And then saying, oh, well, you only want to talk about something until it doesn't go your way. No, that's not true at all. And I told the person, you might want to watch my videos, because that's the part of, like, you might want to know something before you go throw shade on somebody when you don't know. So whether that part there was a getting off track of the I think or what if, or the knowing, if somebody thinks that's off track, it's not. It's, I know that I just don't want to have this conversation right now. And it's not about shutting someone down. It's, if you're getting aggravated, sometimes you just need to shut it down and say, okay, I don't want to talk about it anymore, because it's overboard. When we keep saying the same thing over and over again, you're not having conversation anymore. You're trying to throw doubt or shame or guilt. And when somebody tells somebody that you're mental or you're crazy, you're just friggin' ignorant. Some people say on my videos, well, I don't listen because I don't understand what you're saying. As I said before, if you actually did your own inner work, and instead of saying, well, I don't understand, and just actually kind of not understand the words, but put yourself in a state where you can actually feel something, opposed to thinking, I always got to understand words, because it's not about the words. It's about the feeling that somebody puts behind it. It's like for every action, it has a reaction, the same as I think or what if. And I know. It's an action, it's a reaction. So when we have self-doubt, we actually reflect it on other people. And then it's a vicious circle. And people think that, like, well, I can't do this. Well, yeah, you can. You're just programmed into thinking that you can't because maybe somebody said in the past that, oh, well, you can't do that, or you're not good at that. We're not all good at everything. We have certain things we're good at. And I'm good at what I do, and that's going within and like doing my videos so that I can watch myself, whether anybody else watches me or not. Because no matter whether anybody else watches, I know that I get something out of it for myself by going back and watching. Because as I said before, we can always give good advice to other people. Not always, no. But maybe it is good advice, just not at the right time for that person, or they don't understand it, or it's taken the wrong way or the wrong context because somebody has only watched a piece of it and didn't get the whole story. I had two people tell me that something that transpired, it was like, well, that's not what I was told. Okay, you were told by that one person. And that's where the sentence in would come in. Well, what if I told you my version? Are you still, because like they told you first that that's the real version? Because not necessarily is it. It's confusing, hey? And that's where we put in the what if, or I think. Well, are you sure? Well, I think. So in life, don't think that you can get something. Know that you can get that. Know that you are already there. And keep knowing you are there. Even if you're not right there at that moment, keep knowing that you are there, because in actuality, you are there. Put yourself there. See it for yourself. Don't put in the questioning of I think or what if. Know that you are already doing it. See yourself doing it. Because once you see yourself doing it, then you're actually going to see yourself learning how to do it, because you're watching yourself doing it. It's through the third eye. I do it all the time. Like I'll take and I'll put myself somewhere in the state. It's kind of like seeing it. You may not see it in this physical, but you see it in the all-seeing eye. You see it already there. And that's how you create your life. If you see something bad happening, you're going to create it for yourself. It's the aspect of positive thinking. Okay? And we put ourselves there a lot, some more than others, but everyone does it. So it's hard to get out of that way of thinking, questioning, because we're putting more in it than what needs to be there. It's like, okay, Ishkalais Koreatum, Pikatai, Turiana, Tulet Koreato Tukreta, Korean, Sui, Kushkayasa, Koreala, Kumulikare, Purie, Sikureai, Tikaleta, Giayan. What if I didn't write that down? Would it go out there? People are saying, well, that's just a bunch of scribbling. Actually, no, it's not. It's actually a language. I was writing it in the language. It's a universal light language. It's not from It's not from us, but we are here. They scan. It's like fairies and what have you. And people are thinking, lady, you're really into lunch. If you think the fairies and all that stuff is real, well, that stuff is real. And I'm here to tell you, the myth is actually my truth. It's the knowing. There's a lot of stuff coming forward. And I seen one thing about like unicorns. People saying, well, how are unicorns real when they haven't found any? How do you know that somebody hasn't found a carcass of a unicorn? Maybe a unicorn is eternal. Maybe they don't die. Because we don't actually die, because our bodies may like say and give up on us because how we're abusing them and how they're being abused by different programs and systems. I know that every time I question myself, I'm abusing my body in one way or another. It's an internal question. It's like believing in oneself instead of doubting oneself. And it's teaching others to learn how to stop doubting themselves also. Stop putting in that what if. Because you could bring up so many what ifs. And it could keep you from experiencing a lot of good things. And the what if usually comes from what we see on TV. Well, this is what happened to this person when they did that. So it doesn't mean it's going to happen to you. And what's the chances of it happening to you? It's like the statistics. Of course, a lot of the time they're going to show you all the negative statistics to everything. Well, God wants you to have fun. God wants you to live, experience, because it's the energy of the universe. It's the oneness. And it's leaving those kind of leaving the questions out. I said that like one day I'm going to fly. And as someone said, like, you're not going to jump off a building. Well, no, you don't. Like, some may try to learn to fly that. Don't. Okay. Sometimes it takes a traumatic experience for you to come into your abilities. But when I do fly, I'm going to go from the ground up. And we can fly. And somebody is saying, like, lady, you really need a hospital. I've been there, but no. And there's a lot of it. It's the light body. And when you let go of all that negative thinking and the overthinking and the like what if and questions like that, you start living in the now moment instead of the fear of something that could happen. Yeah. I could be walking up the road one day and all of a sudden got to go to the bathroom. You can't make it to a bathroom. Well, that's kind of a go with the flow or go in the woods. Make that decision at that moment, not trying to make it beforehand. Just know that it's something that you want to accomplish, something you want to try. And don't be afraid to try it. Okay? I gotta put the date on that. What's today? August 4th? Thank you. So I'm not gonna do a lot more right now. Oh crap. How ironic. Kind of the same as what I wrote there. So it's loving yourself, because the way home is through love. Because home is where the heart is. You are your own home. And when we stop overthinking with things, then you're going to accomplish a lot, because you're going to get out of your own way. Because by doing the what if, and I think it's putting yourself in your own way, and it is the overthinking aspect of it. I don't know if this made sense to some. I'm actually going to go back myself and watch this, and then I'm going to go off and I'm one of these really soon. I've been wanting to do it, about talking about like family and what family means to me. So I'm going to leave you here with this, because this is the part of me that's starting to overthink. Just the part of the what if and thinking and just knowing it. Okay, because it's all about we overthink things too much, and then we get stuck in our own little loop, and we're too afraid to try anything because we have other people saying that to us, or we have ourselves saying it. So it's kind of bringing yourself to a center and sitting with it and going within and seeing yourself already doing it. Okay? And not being afraid to try something different. Because all that stuff to make you doubt, it's a lot of programming from the time we were little. Because when I was young, I used to climb trees, and my parents weren't afraid of me falling out of them. Because that's what kids do. We are meant to be climbing things. Okay? We are meant to be doing this stuff. We are able to do this stuff, but some of us, we just live in a constant fear, and that's stepping out of the fear. And this is what the awakening is. It's not being afraid. Knowing danger, true danger. But letting go of the fear. Sometimes I have a fear of something, and it's like, okay, wait. Am I having that fear because I have the fear, or am I having the fear because I'm overthinking things? The other day I went somewhere. I was going to go. I wanted to go to a place called Magic Mountain. Hey, Rolling. Because I wanted to go down 40 foot high water slide. But I didn't get to go. So what I did was I put myself in the mind And I did it that way. It helps to overcome fear. And somebody just said, would you go down if you had the chance? Well, I can't really give an answer because I'd have to be there first. And then if I got on and it was too late, because I did go up one time and I turned back. And that's when my youngest son, he went down and I was like, woo. I was like, whoa, because I'm afraid of heights. I was afraid of heights. I'm working on getting rid of that fear. Lily, your tail is so skinny. The skin on the. So try not to overthink things and stop putting the what if in there, because like I said, we always put that what if in there, but that what if can keep you from experiencing life itself. Det ska det då skräm. Det ska det skruva ett gräm. Det tror. Det ser att det skulle skruva. Fina mot det på detta. Det skulle clear yourself. Sit with yourself and don't overthink, and keep the what ifs at a bare minimum, because the what if can keep you from experiencing your true potential, your true self. I'm gonna leave you with that. I love you all. I want you all to be big, bold, brave. Most importantly, be yourself. I'm sending you all much love, light, many blessings, and most importantly, very good health to anyone and everyone wanting, willing, and ready to accept it. I want you to always be kind to yourself and others, and keep going. Never give up, because you will get there. You are already there. I love you all. Have a great weekend.